This is ABC Fora.
One of the occupations that I went to look at is the world of career counselling. And now, in many ways, career counselling, are there any career counsellors here? There is. All right, I'll be a little bit careful. In a way, career counselling should be the most important profession in the world, because that's the profession that tells us what job we should go into. And it's very difficult to find your way into the right job, because having a job, finding a way into a job, is not like finding something to eat. You know, when you're hungry, you very rarely end up in a situation where you think, what shall I eat? You kind of know instinctively, you know, I want some crisps, or I want to, you know, have a steak or something. The body knows what it needs. But when it comes to our work, we're very frequently in the odd position of thinking, I'm unhappy in my job, but I don't know what I want to do. And that's an odd position, and this is really the origins, I suppose, of career counselling, the job that will somehow take that unformed dissatisfaction and plug it into something that looks like a career. I went to look at a career counsellor at work. Fascinating stuff. Whenever clients come to him, he gives them a sheet of paper saying, things I like. And he says to them, stop thinking about money, don't think about a career, just tell me things you like, anything that comes into your head, just free associate around things you like. You know, do you like, I don't know, the smell of concrete after rain? Do you like giving your granny some tea? Do you like, you know, the planks of wood on an old ship? Whatever it is, just put them down. And then over a process of weeks, sometimes months, years even, you analyze these passions, and you try and recreate something that might look like it's a career. But you do it, as it were, from the inside out. You do it from the childhood passion, the spontaneity that often gets lost in childhood. You could compare it to archaeology. You know, a pot is broken, you end up with the little bits, and you try and work out what was the pot from which it came. I've got a lot of respect for what this career counsellor did, but I also had some reservations. It sometimes, on a bad day, struck me a little bit like creative writing teaching. I've done a little bit of creative writing teaching, and the problem with it is its optimism. The beauty of it is its optimism, and also the problem. And it goes under the myth, really, that everybody is destined to be a great writer. And that's a lovely democratic idea, but it's not always true, and it leads to a cruelty when it isn't true. And I think that some of that goes on also in career counselling. Also, there's a myth, really, that if only we get career counselling right, maybe one day we'll end up with a perfect meritocracy. And, you know, politicians on really all sides of the political spectrum, they always talk about the dream of creating a meritocracy. That is a world where everybody ends up where they deserve to be. So the people at the top, you know, deserve to be there. And of course, the nasty thing about that is that the people at the bottom presumably also deserve to be at the bottom. So there's a sting in the tail with the idea of a meritocracy. I'm a secular person, but I'm very attracted to an idea that you find in St. Augustine, where he says that it's a sin, a very strong word, sin, to judge anybody by their rank, by their post in society. And that only God, on the day of the last judgment, will be able to look into people's souls and work out what their true qualities are. And until then, do not judge anybody by their business card. That's not St. Augustine, that's me. And essentially, the idea is that we must, I think the suggestion is that we must beware of too closely identifying people with their post, with their rank, because all of us end up in jobs for all kinds of reasons, an unbelievable mix of reasons. And I think the dream, maybe, the dream of getting everybody in exactly the right place is ultimately rather a frightening dream, even though it might look nice from a distance. I went to look at, as I say, a lot of different occupations. One of the places I ended up in is a place called United Biscuits, which is the UK's largest biscuit manufacturer. They're second in the bagged nut market, but as I say, dominant in the biscuit market. They make things like McVitie's, Twiglets, hula hoops, Skips, if ever you're looking for a sort of fizzy snack that dissolves, melts in the mouth, releasing a prawn flavour. And I observed them launching, they spent £4 million a couple of years ago launching a new kind of biscuit called the Moment. I think none of you will have eaten one, and the reason is all biscuits have identities, and the Moment is a biscuit destined for women between the ages of 26 to 36, living in the north of England on a low income. So as I say, biscuits all have identities. I could tell you my favourite biscuit if you want later, but every biscuit, you know, when you walk down a biscuit aisle, the biscuit knows about you way before you know about it. It knows you're coming.
This is ABC Fora.